Hey guys, welcome back to the second part of making the gnomes. Today I'll show you the process I used to make Papa Gnome's clothes. Never fear, any gnome nudity will soon be taken care of. I had to make my own clothing pattern, so I started with tracing around his body to make a template to work from. Now the template is cut out, I'm using it to help design Papa Gnome's tunic style shirt. You need to allow for how thick the body is, as well as some seam allowance. There won't be any sewing involved with his clothes, just a lot of glue. This first pattern piece is for the body part of the tunic. The sleeves are added separately. Around the armholes and the neck hole I draw little lines where to snip. This pattern design process takes me a few goes of trial and error, dry fitting the paper pattern pieces against the doll before I get it to fit the way I want and that I'm happy with. Fold over the notched edges when you're dry fitting the pattern piece so you can see how it will fit once it's hemmed. Here I'm realising two things: it needs more width around the sides and the neck hole doesn't quite fit right yet. So I sketch out a second version with the alterations to try out. It can take a lot of trial and error sometimes when you're making things from scratch, so don't be hard on yourself if you don't get it perfect on your first try. Even the creators that I look up to have to test out ideas and repeat the process a few times. Nah, not happy with the fit. Let's try again. just a fraction of adjustment on the neckline. That's fitting better, but I still have to snip the armholes just to be sure. Much better. Get into the habit of marking or writing notes on the pattern pieces you're keeping so you don't mix them up with the ones that you're not. Here's the sleeve draft I made earlier, but it needs alterations for the seam allowance. Now for the trousers. I'm starting with a draft piece, but it needs more length added to it. If you think I'm making this pattern making process look easy, I assure you it just takes practice. I've been sewing and making clothes for myself and my children for years, so I have a basic understanding of the shapes that go into a garment. Papa Gnome's getting a pair of jeans, so I place the pattern piece on the fold for each leg. You'll need to make 2 legs this way. This is a nice thin, lightweight denim. Normal denim is way too thick. Now for the tunic shirt. I used an offcut from pillowcases I altered for a friend. The colour was perfect, but the fabric ended up being too thin and the glue seeps through it later. Cotton would be better, but in the meantime I cut 2 body pieces and 2 sleeves. About here I make a design choice, and since one of the side seams is pretty much on a fold, I decided not to cut out that side, so I would only have to join the other side. It wasn't a great choice, and you'll see why later. Snip those curves. Okay, back to the jeans. On both pieces, I glued down an 1/8 of an inch seam along one of the curved edges, down one side of the leg and across the long bottom with fabric glue. press those edges together firmly. Oh, and hem the short top edge too. Once you've hemmed both legs, glue them together at one gusset curve. This curve helps pull the trouser legs through the crotch area and wrap around the legs neatly. Make sure you have the hemmed edge on top from one piece and the raw edge hidden underneath on the other piece. See how they suddenly start looking like pants now? Here I'm gluing the inside leg seam on one side before working on the back gusset curve and the other inside leg, always keeping the hemmed edges on top. Now I'm just pinning the seams in place while the glue dries. Poor Papa Gnome is looking a bit like a voodoo doll here, but at least he has pants on now. Shirt time! Hem down all the curved edges, one side seam and the bottom edge with glue. I tried to be very sparing with the glue, but it just seeped through the fabric still. Here's a close-up of it. And here's the hem sleeves. I hemmed the wrist edges and one side edge on each. Here's where I realised I totally forgot to embroider Papa's nose. Normally I'd do this before I sewed the body together, but no dramas, I quickly embroidered it with a pale pink thread. And back to the shirt. First up, put the sleeves on and glue down the underarm seam. Trim off any stray threads. Now for the body of the shirt. Glue the side body seam. Can you see here why not cutting that side seam earlier was a mistake? It's left too much poof and volume in the shirt, not to mention my dog is magically leaving hair in the glue. Now work on those shoulder joints. I like to glue them from the front to the back for neatness. You can see another issue from not cutting the side seams is the armholes are also now too big. I don't attach the sleeves to the body of the shirt so it allows more give and movement when posing the dolls, but I don't like it gaping quite this much. Pin the shoulders in place while I figure out a cheaty way to take up some of the excess shirt fabric. I settled on creating a fold or pleat on each side. Now for his belt. I used some suede thonging that I had in my stash and glued it on. I think I positioned the belt a little high. Poor Papa has an empire waistline now. I secured the ends with super glue gel. I noticed the shoulder joints weren't sticking down properly, so I added a tiny dab of super glue there too. Finally, I super glued a tiny nail art rectangle onto the belt to look like a belt buckle, just like I did with my Christmas elves. Next time I'll show you how I make Papa's hair, his beard and hat before he has an emotional reunion with his loving wife and children. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new uploads, and leave a comment because I'd love to hear from you. It really helps my channel to grow. If you want to share your own crafty ideas and projects, join my Facebook page called Nessie Monster Crafts, and we have Fun Day Fridays where we can all show off our latest works in progress. If you can afford it, please consider buying me a coffee. Links for both my Facebook group and coffee account are in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!